So, I'm going to be talking about the social hierarchy in the black community. So, as you know, back in the day, lighter skinned and biracial folks would be placed in the house while darker blacks would be outside. They both were raped and abused the same, but the lighter folks were usually allowed in the house because they were related to the slave owner, and he or she did it to lessen their guilt. Darker skinned people were also house slaves, which is something people like to leave out. The reason a lot of dark skinned women are bitter today is because lighter skinned women are placed at the top of the social hierarchy in the black community, especially by dark skinned men in particular. This is what has caused a lot of bitterness and resentment towards us lighter women. These women will lash out and bash us even when it is not warranted and say, like, oh, I'm just keeping it real, or I'm just being honest. This is also why the divestment movement started, and you have channels to teach black women, especially dark skinned women, to be feminine because, like I said before, a lot of them give off very masculine energy. They are always on attack mode and being aggressive and ready to go off on someone because they believe everyone is out to get them. But contrary to popular belief, a lot of dark skinned men also have animosity towards us. Not just light skinned men, but light skinned women also. These men think they own us and we belong to them for some weird reason. This is why they usually go out of their way to emasculate our male counterparts so we don't want them. They will even join in with their female individuals when it comes time to bashing us as to try and humble us and bring us down a notch and make these women feel good about themselves while having no plans on dating them. You know, like the hoteps, they like to lie to them saying like, oh, I don't like light-skinned women, I prefer darker, and yada yada. Like I said before though, dark-skinned women get a kick out of dragging and disrespecting us unprovoked. You will notice that dark-skinned men don't actually care when dark-skinned women date out. The only time they'll mention it is when they are trying to prove a point about something, like the hypocrisy they face when dark skinned women dating out versus them. They don't actually give a damn because they don't see themselves in dark skinned women and they don't see them as their women, even though they produce them. Now, when light skinned or biracial women date out, all hell will break loose because, like I said, we are considered at the top of the hierarchy. We are considered the best that the community has to offer, and they feel like you already have the best to choose from, so why are you dating out? Even when we are with light skinned men, they feel we are keeping something that should be shared with them exclusively because they place lighter skin on a pedestal without even realizing it. Oftentimes, you will see dark skinned women attacking light skinned women, and when a person from another race makes a comment defending us, they act territorial and will tell them to stay out of black folks' business. When just a minute ago, we were barely even black. Like, I saw a comment from a white boy saying how he loves light skinned black girls, and they were at his head. And I'm like, why does it even matter? He's not even black. Like, seriously. They'll try to humble us by saying we are going to be left for a white or non-black woman, or we are going to be nothing more than baby mamas, ignoring the fact that most baby mamas resemble them because, hello, there are more dark-skinned women than there are light in the black community. So, I mean, come on now. But also, let us not ignore the self-hating light-skinned and biracial folks who will kiki it up with them for a pat on the back like they are excluded from the backlash, ignoring the fact that one wrong move or word and they are going to unleash on you too. Y'all also notice that when light-skinned women date men from other races, they use this as the man liking black women exclusively, although they don't consider us black. But when we are with dark-skinned men, we are not black enough, and these crazies wonder why people laugh at them. A lot of dark-skinned women are just as self-hating and colorist as their male counterparts. But the fact that dark-skinned men are still men at the end, and at the end of the day, they can get access to capital, which can expand their dating portfolio. So women that they didn't have access to before, they do now because they have money. I had a friend from Venezuela who only got with this Haitian dark-skinned dude because he was set to go pro to the NFL. Fast forward, 2 years later, and they are having a child. And baby, I went to visit her in the hospital, and let me tell you, his family, especially his dark-skinned mother, was beaming from ear to ear. She was happy as hell that child didn't come out dark. But then fast forward 2 weeks later, when the child color started to kick in, and she called me saying how their tone had changed and how it's his fault the child is getting dark. It was a mess. People ignore the fact that a lot of these boys' mothers will instill self-hate in them while also being mad when they come home with a non-black or light-skinned woman, literally making no damn sense. So anyway, these women think by us no longer identifying as black men will place them at the top of the social hierarchy. They also want the first right of refusal when it comes to biracials in particular. They want to have this "you can't sit with us" attitude. For those of us who do get the message that we are not accepted and wanted in their spaces, this is where the "oh, she thinks she's shit and she's better than us" comes from. Even with those of us with 2 black parents who have our paternity questioned, and we are only accepted under the guise of know your place, but don't step out of line. That's why when we do or say something they don't like, they start calling us shit like house niggas and questioning our paternity. I remember back in high school, I was looking in the mirror fixing my hair, and a girl comes up and goes, "Oh, you think you the shit, huh?" And I'm just looking like, that was unnecessary. Like, okay. Now, I do not agree with the hierarchy in the black community, but I'm not about to be disrespected because of it. Bashing someone because you feel they have some sort of privilege is not the move, and it isn't helping you. You are still going to be in the same place you were before you started bashing me. A lot of these women refuse to be real with themselves and try and mask their insecurity with the fake superiority complex. They want you to feel how they felt and currently feel. And feel by rejecting you, they are accomplishing this. So you have this girl right here. Now, if any of you aren't familiar with her, she got into it last summer with Talib Kweli. I think that's how you pronounce his name, the rapper. She mentioned his wife being lighter skinned along with some other rappers, and that sent him on a damn crusade, which was a mess. That was a mess, child. But of course, as time went on, she proved everyone point that she does carry some bitterness and resentment towards lighter women and biracials. Here she is trying to dictate who's black and who's not. Like they try and dictate who's light and who's not, but will turn around and play victim when called out. Now, me personally, I'm not worried about what people call themselves because I don't get paid to. So it's none of my business. You will never see light-skinned black people telling someone that they aren't black or black enough. They literally achieve nothing by doing this, but like I said, they want the first right of refusal. Let me reject them before they can reject me. I really found this tweet hilarious though because it reminds me of all the girls who would say they had Indian in their family while looking like they are straight from Senegal, child, with no mixture at all. Now they're trying to dictate who can call themselves black. This is also why they hate men like DJ Envy and Steph Curry, because they love their image so much they marry and share their wealth with their female counterparts. Meanwhile, dark-skinned men want any and everything but them, and that resembles their image. So as long as we continue to be placed at the top of the hierarchy, this animosity will cease to exist. So anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.